What is going on, my YouTube family? Sergeant Graybeard at Graybeard Gaming Group. Today is Friday, November 13th, and as always, I hope this message finds you healthy and safe. So today, my friends, we're going to talk a little bit about the PTS, which started this morning. We want to answer some of your questions, but really quick, I want to take a moment and talk about Ubisoft customer support and how they really need to step up their game. Now, I promise you, my friends, this is not a rant. I'm going to take about a minute of your time, and this is just an observation I've made from dealing with Ubisoft and their customer support over the last year, and also from a lot of feedback from you guys. So what you're seeing on screen right now is footage from yesterday, and I was lucky enough to be able to pre-order an Xbox Series X. It came here, on the 10th. I was excited, loaded up the game, everything was great, and just on a side note, the load speeds on this thing are just absolutely amazing. However, as you can see, when I loaded up the game initially, there was a Foxtrot error, and now my character is locked out. There's nothing I can do. I reached out to customer service, not only through email, but on Twitter and all the other ways you can possibly do it, and I've heard nothing back. Now, I was lucky enough to where I had my old Xbox sitting right next to the new one. I plugged in the old one, and this game worked totally fine. But I am still, it's been over a day, I've heard nothing back, and I still cannot access my character on the Xbox Series X. And the only reason I bring it up is this. It's been a day, I haven't heard anything, whatever. But the problem is that this seems to be their standard operating procedure where they just don't get back to you. And in my opinion, that's just the worst way to treat a consumer. We have heard from so many people who, let's say they buy premium credits and the credits don't show up and they reach out to customer support. They hear something a week later and customer support's advice is to just try reinstalling the game. It's like they didn't even read the email in the first place. I mean, you guys know I hate starting off videos this way, and as we move on, I just want to say I'm only bringing this up. I want you to know that I have your back. So every time you reach out to me and you let me know something's going on in the game, I take notes and I just send everything I can to customer support, so hopefully they'll actually acknowledge what's going on. I mean, my being locked out of the game is one small example of issues that players have been dealing with for way too long, and it is completely, in my opinion, it's completely unfair for people who spend their hard-earned money to not hear anything back and not get their issues resolved, and just know I have your back and I'm trying to do whatever I can. Alright, my friends, enough about that. Let's now get into talking about the PTS, and really quick, in my opinion, this needs to be on Xbox and PlayStation because just to have it on PC is really unfair to other gamers and we're not getting enough feedback. I'll go into why in a moment, but right now you can see our main goal with the PTS with this first phase is the optimization station and new weapons, gear, and the new skill variant. You can also see at the bottom that PC users do not have access to the Season 4 narrative content, Season 4 events and activities, or the global event shop. So in a lot of ways, a lot of the things we really need to test out, we can't actually test. This next page goes over a few other things. The main focal point, in my opinion, is just when will the PTS open? Obviously, I said it opens this morning. It's good until Wednesday the 18th, and then the next phase is from November 27th until the Wednesday, December 2nd. Finally, on this feedback and discussions page, it talks about where you can get information on the new PTS. You can find that at the PTS forums. I just clicked the link on a tweet that the division put out. You'll be able to find all this stuff. And again, there's no NDA on this, so we can show you as much footage as we want. Now, a quick reminder as we start, for those of you who may not know, when you work on a PTS, you get all these great goodies, you don't keep them. Like this, none of this stuff stays in our inventory. It's on a separate server, so as second the PTS ends, all the stuff is gone. And I mean, I actually built a character just for the PTS. You can see my shade level is at 2. I don't ever use this character except for when we're trying to test things because I have my Xbox character. That's what I use primarily. But again, all of these things are completely wiped from your character once this is over. So going back to why I feel that both Xbox and PlayStation needs to be a part of this PTS is the simple fact that until we get a lot of voices together saying there's an issue, nothing really seems to get solved in this game. And that's why so many people, when they do launch the PTS, yes, it is a good thing, but only a small portion of the community is really testing it. And a lot of people felt just launch the thing because then you're going to get everyone's feedback, make the changes, and then we can move forward from there and actually get the things we're looking for. And a perfect example is what just happened with Title Update 11. I mean, there was buzz about things not working during the PTS, but once that thing launched and people really saw what was up, they were scrambling right away to, vocally talk about changes and things that were coming. That has to do with so many people actually giving their input. The other issue that we have when only PC players are allowed to test things is the fact that you have console players thinking that, the PC players aren't doing their job, that's why it's launched this way, and they're only getting the things they want, and it kind of leaves us in the dust, and why can't, the things we want be heard? And my friends, I promise you that could not be further from the truth. I don't know who they listen to over at the Division 2, but what I do know is this. When I look at the forums, I hear PC players complaining about, they're not getting their attention. I hear console players saying the same thing, and it doesn't stop there. There are other issues as well. I mean, you have casual players thinking that, only the hardcore players are being listened to. And on the flip side, hardcore players are thinking that, the game is only catering to casual players. But all I hear is two groups of people unhappy because no one seems to be listening. And in my opinion, the most effective way to do that is to inundate the Division 2 with our responses, with our feedback, and the best way to do that is to have everyone working on a PTS, and, I really hope we get to see that happen soon. One final thing, then we're going to move on to the optimization station. My friends, this is where I count on you. Any questions you have, any comments, and anything you see that you'd like to see changed, or any issues, and of course we're going to go over bug fixes and stuff like that, but please let me know because I want to pass your, information on. Now, most of you know that you are going to be able to optimize any and all of your weapons once Season 4 comes out. And this, in my opinion, is a great addition to the game. It's going to help so many people who are not able to do certain content on their own or in a group. And for those of you who may not know, here's how it works. I have to find an item that isn't maxed out, and I only say that because all of my gear I just got from, those caches. Hang on, there's a mask there. Okay, we'll use the mask as an example, so you can see where all the stats fall on this mask right now. So if I'm looking at this mask and I'm like, which do I want to change? You know what? I'm going to change up the crit hit damage real quick. You can see, you just optimize. It takes some of the components or the pieces you need away, and your now crit hit damage has gone up a little bit. Now, thankfully, with this station, we now have the ability to max stuff out. So now I'm thinking I want to max my health. And then I think, you know what? I don't want health on this mask. I'd rather have crit hit chance. So then you can actually go re-roll to crit hit chance and then start maxing that out. So you can see I left the optimization aspect of the page. I went over to recalibration. I'm going down to my mask. I'm going to change health to critical hit chance, roll that, and then once that happens, I go back to optimization and start maxing everything out. And this, my friends, is going to help so many people gap that bridge between challenging and heroic, or heroic and legendary. Whether you're in a group or whether you're solo, obviously the stronger and better your gear is, the better chance you have of making it through. As you can see now, I am now re-rolling critical hit chance, which is the new attribute I just put on the mask, and I'm just going to keep optimizing, this item until it's fully maxed out. Now, the one thing you have to keep aware of are the components and pieces you need, so always keep an eye out of what you may be looking for. And actually, going back to the last state of the game, the developers did say you will have an idea of what you need to farm for when you're trying to optimize certain things, so you'll have an idea of where you need to go, what you need to pick up, and, really how much you need. Just a few more things and we're going to wrap this video up. I'm going to take the weekend and really try to put some builds together because I know that a lot of you felt very underwhelmed by the, weapons and the gear that were coming. It's a lot of it is skill based, and a lot of people were like, where's the awesome firepower and the more aggressive stuff that we're looking for? Now, I don't want to pass judgment on something I really haven't tested as yet. I'm just doing a control point. I threw together a gear set with 2 hardwired and 4 of the new skill one. I think it's the rigger, something like that. But anyway, so I threw that together. I'm running a control point and just seeing, what happens. One thing I can confirm is that for people who do like running skill builds, if you run with a turret, you now can pick it up. That is fantastic because if with this type of gear, it seems you're doing skill builds, but you're moving a lot more, and having that ability really helps out. Now, for those of you that are wondering what are going on with this typical bug fixes and what... Is that my dog? My dog just... I didn't even know my dog was in this room. Hey, puppy. Okay, hang on, guys. One sec. All right, there we go. Bug fixes. I don't know, my friends. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with blue screens. You guys saw how I opened up this video. My Xbox Series X is still all jacked up. I can play every other game. Can't play this one. Missing items, things like that. We're all hoping to get, some answers soon. And with that, my friends, I think we're going to wrap this video up. Please do me a favor. Anything I'm sure you're going to watch multiple Division videos in regards to the PTS and builds and what's going on and what you see. And if you happen to have the time, please do me a favor and let me know anything that you see out there that you want to see changed or different, so that way we can obviously send it along as well. As I mentioned a moment ago, I'm going to take the weekend, work on this game. I'm going to put some builds together, see what we can do. And, it's a good thing and bad thing that they give you maxed out gear. Because with the maxed out gear, you can see the full potential of what this thing can do. But at the same time, it may take a while to get that gear to that point. But again, it gives us a baseline of what we can expect. And as always, I want to give it a fair shot before I critique kind of what's going on. But anyway, guys, thank you all so much for your continued support. You're awesome. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I sincerely appreciate you taking the time and watching our content. Like I said earlier, if you happen to be new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button. But most importantly, as always, take care, be kind, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a great weekend, everyone.